one of them got married. And of course, that's let everybody ask, what does that mean? Like, how can one of them get married?
Abby and Brittany Hensel are a biological miracle who've defied every expectation. Despite their challenges, they've reached milestones many thought impossible. Yet their own biology is a constant battle, and the very system we live by seems to be against their very existence. Now, with rumors of tragic news and a final goodbye, we're left wondering, what could have happened to these inseparable sisters, the miracle of the inseparable? Most people have heard about the conjoined twins, Abby and Brittany, born in 1990 in a small town in Minnesota. Their parents, Patty and Mike, went into the delivery room expecting one baby. Instead, they were met with something far from ordinary. Dicephalic parapagus twins, an extremely rare condition where twins are joined side by side on a single torso but with two separate heads. The doctors immediately suggested a separation surgery, but the risks were terrifying. It was a choice between keeping them together as they were or potentially losing them both. Their parents chose to keep them together, and from that moment on, they had to spend every moment working as a team. They spent years in intensive therapy learning how to walk, crawl, and even clap. These two girls had to learn how to move in perfect sync. Despite the odds, they had an active childhood. They learned to ride bikes, swim, and even play softball. They played the piano together, with each sister responsible for one hand's melody. By the time they were 6 years old, they were on the cover of magazines and even appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show. We watched them grow up, finish college, and even start their own reality show. But in 2012, something unexpected happened. Just as they reached the height of their fame, the sisters disappeared from the spotlight. For more than 10 years, they kept a low profile, focusing on their personal and professional lives. Recently, there have been rumors everywhere that something tragic happened, and the sisters are saying a final goodbye. People are even sharing videos with heartbreaking headlines, suggesting that the medical challenges of sharing one body have finally caught up with them. Is it possible that something tragic actually happened to them? Despite how far they've come, their lives have been filled with challenges. Even after their exit from reality TV, when everyone thought they had disappeared for good, something unexpected happened in 2024 that brought them back into the spotlight. A series of surprising events that no one would have ever guessed. What unfolded next was a new chapter filled with questions and challenges, something that could test their bond as never before. The biological and legal frontier. In 2024, pictures and videos of a secret union began circulating the internet. It turns out that in November 2021, Abby Hensel did something most people thought would be impossible for a conjoined twin. She got married. The man was Josh Bowling, a nurse and a United States Army veteran who had been in their lives for a while. They kept everything completely private for almost 3 years. There were no big TV specials, no magazine covers, and no leaked videos. Their wedding was a quiet ceremony in Minnesota with close family and friends who respected their privacy. When the news finally came out in early 2024, the internet went wild. People were very curious about how a marriage like theirs could work, but for Abby and Josh, it was simply about two people finding love against all odds. Unfortunately, their honeymoon didn't last long. Not long after the wedding photos went viral, a legal case resurfaced. Josh was hit with a paternity lawsuit from his ex-wife, Annika, a court case that had been going on since October 2023. The case was about a second child born after Josh and Annika had split, and the court had to decide if Josh was the father. For months, the headlines were full of speculation, with everyone wondering if Abby's new life was about to be rocked by a scandal. By April 2024, court documents revealed that a genetic test had been carried out. Josh Bowling was not the father of the child in question. Another man was named as the biological father, and the case was effectively settled. It was a huge relief for the couple, but the damage had already been done. The twins, having spent years trying to live their lives privately, were just dragged back under the spotlight through a courtroom battle that had nothing to do with their health. Through all of this, there was one person who was always there, quite literally. Brittany Hensel occupies the same physical space as Abby, which means she is an inseparable part of their marriage. Brittany has her own feelings, her own thoughts, and her own life, yet she shares a home and every single moment with her sister's husband. They have to navigate everything from what movie to watch at night to how they manage their shared space. It requires a level of maturity and communication that many of us can hardly imagine. They've managed to make it work, building a unique family dynamic that challenges every social norm we've ever known. As things settled down and they were back to their routine in Minnesota, the couple started looking toward the future. They had survived the lawsuits and the viral wedding news, but they had a much bigger question to face. Abby and Brittany have always been open about their dream of becoming mothers one day. Now that Abby is married, that dream could be a reality. Legal battles are one thing, but when your very biological existence challenges the definition of motherhood, the situation tends to get very complicated, just as the wedding drama seemed to have died down. In August 2025, new photos surfaced online, gaining more attention than the previous ones. These candid shots showed Abby and Brittany out in Minnesota, looking like any ordinary people running errands on a sunny afternoon. But one detail caught everyone's attention. They were carrying a newborn baby. In some shots, they carefully adjusted a car seat. In others, they cradled the infant. A few weeks later, they were spotted again, this time at Sunnyside Elementary School. According to witnesses, they brought the infant inside for about 30 minutes to introduce the child to their fellow teachers. Within hours, the internet was flooded with questions. Did they really do it? Did they have a baby? The twins didn't exactly clear things up right away. Instead, they posted a compilation of those paparazzi photos on their TikTok account. Just a simple video with the caption saying "blessed" with hashtags about sisterhood and respect. For a lot of people, that was all the confirmation they needed. Even without an official confirmation, seeing them with a baby started a conversation that felt like it belonged in a science fiction movie. Because of their unique anatomy, Abby and Brittany share a single set of reproductive organs. This means that from a biological standpoint, if one of them becomes pregnant, they both do. If a baby is born, it carries the DNA of both sisters. In recorded medical history, no dicephalic parapagus twins have ever given birth to a baby. If Abby and Brittany did, they would be the first in history to do so. It would be a biological breakthrough that doctors would talk about for centuries, and witnessing it happen in real life would be extraordinary. This is where things start to get complicated. As of now, in 2026, the twins are navigating a problem that the state of Minnesota isn't prepared for. Our current laws are built on the idea that one body equals one person. When a child is born, the hospital paperwork and the birth certificate are designed to list one birth mother. But in the twins' case, who gets the title? If Abby is the one who is married to Josh, does the law only recognize her as the parent? That would leave Brittany as a legal ghost, a biological mother with no actual rights to the child she helped carry and deliver. It is a confusing situation that proves our legal system hasn't caught up to their reality. As the photos spread like wildfire, people had a lot to say about the whole situation. Many cheered them on, admiring their courage to embrace parenthood despite their unique condition. Supporters said that as long as the twins are healthy and provide a loving home, they deserve to start a family. But not everyone was supportive. Critics worried about the strain on their hearts and lungs, organs already working overtime to keep two lives going. Others wondered how the child will grow up with two mothers who are physically joined and what challenges that might bring. It's a conversation full of concern and questions about what family really means. This constant scrutiny has cast a shadow over their lives. Every time they post an update, the comment section is filled with opinions on whether they should be allowed to experience motherhood or not. The twins mostly ignore the comments and focus on their lives and what makes them happy. They have spent their entire lives proving they can do anything they set their minds to, from learning to walk to finding love. But as they navigate the complicated world of parenthood and legal certificates, they soon realize the legal world has far more obstacles that don't work in their favor. The sisters are facing a much more immediate injustice in their own workplace. After Abby and Brittany stepped out of the spotlight, they built a life and lived on their own terms. Today, they spend their mornings in the hallways of Sunnyside Elementary in New Brighton, Minnesota. They are fifth-grade teachers, and the kids absolutely love them. They have become role models to the children and are praised for teaching empathy, teamwork, and perseverance. Every day, they prove to the kids that physical differences don't limit them from achieving their dreams. Every day, what it means to persevere and work as a team. But while they are celebrated by their school community, their career comes with professional hurdles. The biggest challenge isn't the teaching itself, but the way they are paid. Even though Abby and Brittany graduated from Bethel University with 2 separate degrees and passed their licensing exams individually, they only receive one salary. The school district's logic is simple. They occupy one physical space in the classroom. If there is only one teacher's desk, the district sees it as one job. It is a frustrating situation because, legally and academically, they are 2 distinct professionals who each paid separate tuition to get their education. But when it came time to get a return on that investment, the rules suddenly changed. Despite the single paycheck, the sisters are very efficient and handle the classroom better than any teacher could. Colleagues often describe them as having a dual teacher advantage. While one sister grades papers, the other one leads a lecture. They have joked with their students that it is impossible to get away with anything in their class because they have 4 eyes and someone is always watching. They often split the workload, with one taking a stricter stance on classroom harmony while the other focuses on delivering the lesson. Their teamwork makes the school day flow effortlessly. Recently, the twins have taken a firm stand on their value, expressing a clear intention to negotiate better pay as they gain experience. They believe that offering 2 unique perspectives allows them to manage a classroom more effectively than one person ever could, making their case for fair recognition even stronger. Their principal and supervisors have been vocal supporters, stating they wouldn't hesitate for a minute to keep them on staff because of how well they connect with the kids. They are fighting for the respect of being seen as 2 whole people who happen to share a workspace. To understand why they fight so hard for their independence and their right to be treated as individuals, we have to go back to the moment their parents made the choice that changed everything. The legacy of the inseparable right from their birth, Abby and Brittany, were a biological phenomenon that left the medical world completely stunned. On March 7, 1990, their parents and doctors were expecting a single baby, as the prenatal scans had only shown one head. During the C-section delivery, everyone was shocked to discover they were dicephalic parapagus twins. Inside their shared torso, they possess 2 separate hearts that beat with their own distinct rhythms. They have 4 lungs, 2 stomachs, and 2 gallbladders, yet everything from the waist down is shared, including their bloodstream. This means if Abby drinks a cup of coffee, the caffeine hit travels through the blood and affects Brittany too. They are 2 separate individuals sharing a biological connection where every breath and heartbeat happen in sync. The way they control their bodies is an impressive example of subconscious teamwork. It's remarkable to think that every step they take involves 2 separate brains communicating instantly to move together. This level of coordination becomes even more impressive when they perform complex tasks. When they drive a car, Abby controls the pedals and the gear shifter with her right side, while Brittany handles the turn signals and lights with her left. Because Brittany is 2 inches shorter than Abby, their gait is naturally uneven. To keep their collective balance, Brittany often walks on her tiptoes, which has actually made her calf muscle significantly larger than her sister's over the years. Their journey to achieve such coordination wasn't easy. At birth, they had a third, non-functional arm between their heads, which was removed in their infancy to help with mobility. Their parents, Patty and Mike, also faced the difficult choice of declining separation surgery, prioritizing their well-being as a pair. Doctors warned them of low survival rates, and the parents knew the procedure would likely leave both girls with severe disabilities or lead to the loss of one child. Later, at age 12, the twins faced another medical emergency. They underwent surgery to expand their chest cavity to prevent breathing issues and correct scoliosis to ensure they could keep moving as they grew older. Living this way requires a level of patience that most of us will never understand. They have different body temperatures and even different appetites. Because they have separate stomachs, one might be starving while the other feels full. Despite these differences, they have spent over 3 decades finding a middle ground. Their parents insisted they attend regular schools and develop their own personalities, Abby being more outgoing and Brittany more reserved. They do not see themselves as a medical abnormality. They see themselves as 2 sisters who simply have to communicate more than most. They have turned a rare medical condition into a life worth living, showing the world that cooperation is not a choice for them, but their very foundation. Their physical connection is impressive, but what truly stands out is their legacy of breaking new ground and opening doors for others to follow. Dicephalic twins have existed throughout history, often seen in medical textbooks or as curiosities in shows. But Abby and Brittany Hensel changed all that. They broke the cycle. For centuries, the world looked at lives like theirs with pity or just fascination, yet they transformed their unique biology into a powerful example of independence and control over their own lives, rewriting the story for everyone who came before them. By choosing the classroom over the spotlight, they changed the story from focusing on their condition to who they really are, showing that being joined doesn't mean they can't be independent. In 2026, they have greatly changed the way we view disability and identity. They have successfully reached every major milestone that doctors once considered impossible. They graduated from college, earned 2 separate teaching licenses, and built a professional career that has lasted over a decade. By being a constant, visible presence in a public school, they have dismantled the stigma that people with physical differences must be hidden away. They aren't just teachers, they are living proof to their students that collaboration is a superpower and that different doesn't mean lesser. Their journey has also brought about a new legal frontier. By insisting on being treated as 2 separate people, from holding individual passports to taking exams independently, they have forced a rigid legal system to acknowledge their dual identities. Even in their private lives, they have redefined the concept of family. Abby's marriage and their role in a blended family show that physical uniqueness does not disqualify someone from having a fulfilling personal life. They have challenged the world to look past their shared body and see 2 distinct women with their own goals, dreams, and rights. Ultimately, their story is the most powerful no-separation success case in history. For families facing difficult medical decisions, the Hensels show what's possible when you stay strong during tough times. New opportunities come your way. They've spent 35 years proving that limits set by others don't have to define your life. Today, they stand as a symbol of the refusal to be defined by a diagnosis. They have proved that their bond is their greatest strength, and while the world continues to watch and have opinions on their lives, they are too busy living to care about that. Abby and Brittany Hensel aren't saying goodbye to life. They are saying goodbye to the labels we've placed on them. Whether in the classroom or as a family, they continue to prove that identity isn't about the body, it's about the soul. Knowing the risks their parents faced in 1990, do you think they made the right call to refuse the separation surgery? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, click on the next video on your screen. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into history's greatest mysteries.